A warm welcome back to today's aviation news recap. Focus sits on Lufthansa Cargo, Airbus A350 engine developments, and lastly, an airline facing bankruptcy in what is proving to be an action-packed episode. So let me begin with those A350 discussions that have really occupied the last week and a bit. And after Cathay Pacific grounded A350s and investigations commenced, you may recall the European Union Aviation Safety Agency requested inspections of in-service A350 aircraft. Much of the preventative checks follow a confirmed engine fire actually occurring shortly after an A350 commenced what was meant to be a routine flight from Hong Kong to Zurich. However, the aircraft was forced to return to Hong Kong and subsequently Cathay Pacific began inspecting all its A350s. Later, to be confirmed that almost 20 units had engines that needed repairing. The provider of those engines, Rolls-Royce. Now, on the other hand, Malaysia Airlines has confirmed in a statement that it also found potential issues with the engines of its Airbus A350-900. In a statement, the airline said that the finding was swiftly resolved, and the aircraft has since been cleared to re-enter service, and this aligns with the airline's commitment to the highest safety standards and is obviously the polar opposite of the work we're seeing take place at Cathay Pacific. The problem involved a potential issue with the high-pressure fuel hose on just one aircraft. Fleet data indicates that Malaysia Airlines has 7 A350-900s to its name, 6 of which are in service and 1 unit is parked. Therefore, the findings will not impact the airline's ability to offer long-haul flying as intended, for which we know the A350 has been explicitly drafted in to do so. The European Safety Agency's response to this matter after the working week was not to extend inspection calls. Why is that? Well, because initial inspection calls focused in on the XWB-97 engine, now not the XWB-84, which, while sharing similarities, are different, and for Malaysia Airlines, they've got the XWB-84. Interestingly, Airbus on top of that confirmed that checks on the 84 are not warranted at this stage. Given the key differences and based on information provided compared to the XWB-97, which had, as you may recall, previously been the focal point of everything. However, such a finding does come only a matter of days after Malaysia Airlines confirmed it would be reducing its flying schedule for the remainder of 2024 due to complexities with its aircraft. This not necessarily being accounted for and certainly not considered a complexity, as the airline itself stated, it was able to deal with the problem very, very swiftly, if you could even call it a problem to begin with. On to the next story. Lufthansa Cargo is continuing its attempts to overhaul as a business and chart a sustainable course for growth. Sustainable really being the core part of this announcement that they recently put forward as part of future plans. Lufthansa is set to invest some 600 million euros into Frankfurt Airport, with the mission to modernize the airport's freight facility by the turn of the next decade. Through the investment, Lufthansa believes it'll be able to make Frankfurt Airport the most modern air freight hub in Europe. The airport vital for many different types of freight movements, but they extend that to even unique movements as they continue developing the facilities there. The LCC Evo project, as it has been designated, represents a drive for what the company describes as growth and excellence. However, the project must be done in a sustainable way, and this is at the forefront of the expectations that have been outlined. While investment will be focused on freight operations, given this is Lufthansa Cargo's home, the idea of the future is to have greater infrastructure that will allow for growth into future decades away from just their cargo operations. Furthermore, as highlighted by the Minister of Finance, the investment is an example of how sustainable and modern infrastructure can play such an important part in a country's future. That's right, a lot of these core buildings that we're seeing put up are going to be made with sustainable technologies and building materials, hoping to be greener. Germany will look on a whole, thanks to the development of Lufthansa Cargo, to cement itself as a key leader in its class, and as highlighted by Lufthansa executives, become a leading hub for cargo, special arrivals, and obviously miscellaneous miscellaneous things on top of that could utilize the space to their advantage. Frankfurt has always been a key location for the broader country, with great economic strength that extending to Frankfurt Airport. So as a result, it really is a no-brainer to invest such significant funds into the continued development of the base to foster future economic growth. Some of the benefits of moving away from purely freight transportation includes the jobs that will be created thanks to the development of so many new facilities. Lufthansa Cargo expects Frankfurt to become a greater location for future jobs as well, or maybe one that's more inviting. The investment will be key to developing supply chains, but on top of that, supporting them for the long term. Future growth is part of the ambition not to interrupt operations while construction work occurs. Lufthansa labels this as basically open heart surgery, with the intent to continue day-to-day flying, but also building these new structures. So strong consultation is being conducted, and the work is also to occur in various stages so that there is no negative impact felt. On to the last story, some rather unfortunate news, but maybe not that unexpected. Air Belgium has really struggled with effectively every endeavour it has attempted to complete and is now on the brink of bankruptcy. According to new developments, Air Belgium has been given 2 weeks to resolve its financial woes, a time frame that is now putting a great deal of pressure on it. They've been facing a lot of protection, it must be said, in recent years, but they've been unable still to secure the funds required to remain operational. The jig is now considered to be up. As part of the recent reporting, Air Belgium would need some 18 million euros to avoid bankruptcy and shut down risk it currently faces. However, the 18 million euros is being widely considered as a short-term solution. 18 million for the long term is simply not all they're going to need, and further funding would be required. However, funding for the long term, let alone the short term to save them, is broadly considered difficult to obtain. It probably would have already been done so. In its current state, Air Belgium looks to be a cargo company and a wet lease provider that aims to use its fleet of relatively efficient aircraft to its advantage and others as well. But despite making adjustments to its business, most notably with the departure of passenger flights, negative equity is close to 100 million euros, and overall annual losses have continued after reports emerged that Air Belgium would likely face bankruptcy after many failures. There has been some discussions about a potential investor expressing interest in the final hour, but obviously this is going to take some work to tie up. It won't be an overnight mission, and the clock is certainly ticking. Let me know your thoughts on today's aviation news recap, maybe even on Air Belgium. Do they have a future in the industry, or do you think it's just been a bit of an unlucky stint with not a true identity being carved out? Thanks a lot for watching, take care, be safe, and I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for your latest industry recap.